been wanting this forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back in to another episode podcast to talk about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Huge shout out to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Chill, we got Noah, we got Javier, Steph, Brandon, Kevin. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for being here in the chat below. We are going to be talking about Week 5 Cardinals versus the Tennessee Titans. And guess what? We're turning the page here in the last 4 weeks, which I don't know if you guys feel the exact same way, but I'm trying to be optimistic about the season still. And I know, right, it's week to week. Things can change so fluently. This is literally like a roller coaster of emotions, a roller coaster of a season. And the Cardinals can go on a 2-game winning streak, and a lot of things could change for the perception and this perspective of this Arizona Cardinals team and the trajectory of what is supposed to be happening moving forward. So I understand all that going through, but I'm not going to lie to you. It's tough. It's tough waking up from a Thursday night football game when you have to wait more than 7 days for the Cardinals to get back on the field to prove that they are learning from these mistakes and just the stagnant offense that we've been seeing all year long. Shout out to my guy Kevin here in the chat below. He's saying that I have a feeling we're going to look better this week just to get us a little excited, and then when we faced the Colts, just looked exactly the same again. Yeah, this is the fear, man. This is exactly the fear that I have here as well. But as Cardinal fans, as fans of the NFL, unfortunately, all we have going for us right now is to keep pushing through and hopefully believing in the fact that this Arizona Cardinal team and organization and its coaching staff is going to be learning from their mistakes. Fingers crossed that we're not talking about a big blow up at the end of the season. But right now, this is as down as Cardinal fans have been in a very, very long time. If you guys are not on X and Twitter or on Instagram or on any other social medias besides YouTube, there is a divide amongst the fan base. We'll be talking about that a little later on as well. But I want to give some love on over to, obviously, this Week 5 matchup here for the Cardinals because it's a big game. It really is. It's a big game in terms of what the Cardinals could potentially accomplish in this early stage of the season. I mentioned this before the season started. This is very important for the Cardinals to stack up some wins in the beginning part of the season because there is a big gauntlet at the end. Now looking at the end of the schedule, it's not as bad of a gauntlet as I thought of because obviously the injuries of Joe Burrow, that's a big thing that's happening with Cincinnati. Cincinnati looks like a shell of themselves. They don't look like the same team at all without Joe Burrow. And on top of that, the Texans, they don't look to be that great either. Now, can they get it right? They can. But as of right now, the Texans don't look that great. I think there's still a lot of unknown when it comes down to the Falcons. Of course, we got, 2 Rams games at the end, which is going to be very crucial as well. So the end of the schedule for the Cardinals isn't as big and as a gauntlet as it is. But now when you're looking at the front part of the schedule, the Tennessee Titans looks winnable, right? Quote unquote winnable. But also on the other side of the coin, the Colts don't look like an easy win anymore. That looks like a team that's probably going to be contending for their division, potentially a division or potentially a playoff spot as well. So yeah, we got a lot to get to here today, ladies and gentlemen. Do me a huge favor, smack up the like button here on your way in. Also subscribe. We are on the road to 18K. Cannot do it without you guys. And we are giving away a Arizona Cardinals Nike Rivalry mini helmet by the end of this month. So today is the end of the month, and we're going to be giving away that here pretty soon. Might take a little bit of a delay in terms of the winner. Biggest reason as to why, if you guys are not a fan of the NFC West Roundtable, which we will be going live later on today, I'm actually going to be going on an airplane tomorrow to LA to host the NFC West Roundtable on a we're going to basically be going to the game. We're going to be going to Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers. If you do not know what I'm talking about, let me go ahead and give some love on over to the NFC West Roundtable. We go live every single Tuesday. It's its own separate channel. Let me go ahead and show you the commercial for what we got going every single Tuesday for the remaining of the 2025 season and forever. But shout out NFC West Roundtable.
Welcome to the NFC West Roundtable, a weekly live show featuring top-tier insight and analysis on all things NFC West from the best creators in the division, including Los Angeles Rams creator Jake, San Francisco 49ers creator Jesse, Seattle Seahawks creator Brandon, and Arizona Cardinals creator Mike. Catch the NFC West Roundtable every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on the NFC West Roundtable YouTube channel.
So we are going live today, Tuesday, so I will be attending this game on Thursday Night Football. So it's going to be a little weird when it comes down to content. You're probably going to be seeing me make videos, but with completely different backgrounds because I will be out and about. I'm not going to be in my studio for a good portion of this week, but I'm definitely going to go ahead and make sure I pre-record some videos to kind of, continue with the content moving forward. So just letting you guys know exactly what's going on. We do got some super chats that we do want to get to here as well, but I also want to talk about what do we want to see here in week 5 versus the Tennessee Titans. To be honest and frank, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's very, very clear in what I would like to see as an Arizona Cardinal fan in week 5. Obviously, you want to see a win. You want to see the Cardinals go above 500, hopefully starting off the season 3-2. But you want to see an Arizona Cardinal team offensively be better than what we were in the last 4 weeks. Now, one thing I will say is that a lot of Cardinal fans are really excited about what they potentially can be on the offensive side of the ball because of the glimmer of hope they gave us with the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter. Now, it sucks that it took that long for the offense to look compatible, right, or competent, right? It definitely does suck that it took that long, but there's some Cardinal fans that are kind of leaning hope as to fact that, like, oh, we can look that good, right? Maybe we do a little bit more no huddle. Maybe we speed up the tempo with the Arizona Cardinals offense on the field. Now, Jonathan Gannon did address this and saying, hey, that could be a possibility that we can start doing that a little bit more. We are doing that right now throughout the 4 games that we've seen so far for the Cardinals, but maybe we start implementing that a little bit more. Now, Jonathan Gannon did also come out and say that there is going to be some tweaks in the offense as well, so it's going to be very interesting to see how the Cardinals are going to be looking against a team that's starting off 0-4. And let's be real, there was a lot of hype around Cameron Ward, aka Cam Ward, out of Miami, and he's not looked the greatest, but it's not his fault. This is literally year 1, and I know there's a lot of Tennessee Titans fans that are really down on this Tennessee Titans team. They haven't been playing very good football. Now, the defense is pretty solid when you're looking at the Tennessee Titans defense in general. Like, they got some pieces on the defensive side of the ball. It's just that it almost does kind of feel like when Kyler Murray was drafted to the Arizona Cardinals in 2019, there was not really a lot of pieces for him to really work with, right? It kind of feels the same thing here with Cam Ward when he was drafted to the Tennessee Titans. There's not really a lot of, I guess, things to desire. Now, of course, they got a really good running back in Tony Pollard over there. They got some good pieces on the defensive side of the ball, but like, this is not a team that the Arizona Cardinals should lose to. Like, they shouldn't lose to this team. And if they do lose to them, oh man, there would be a separate type of meltdown within this Arizona Cardinal fan base, which, like I said, we're going to be talking about a little later on because there's a big divide amongst this Cardinal fan base, and it's either you're a Kyler Murray fan or you're not, right? That's what seems to be the divide right now within this organization. But like I mentioned before, this Cardinals team should not be treating this team, the Tennessee Titans, like, oh, it's an easy win because it's any given Sunday, Thursday, and Monday. You never know what's going to happen. So they shouldn't be looking or overlooking this team. I want to see this team, the Cardinals team, come out here on Sunday and really prove their dominance. Almost something similar to what we saw to the Panthers game, but with the exception of you can't take your foot off the pedal. You got to keep it going. You got to prove that you are a team that's learned from the last 4 weeks and are going to get better and better. So I want to see a dominating win. That's really what I want to see. If the Cardinals come out here and win, but they don't win dominantly, I don't know if a lot of Cardinal fans are going to be happy about leaving this game with, being 3-2, because the biggest knock on this team is that this offense cannot get their stuff together. So I want to see this team absolutely dominate the Tennessee Titans. This is going to be another home game for the Arizona Cardinals. So there's absolutely no excuse for the Cardinals to not win this game in a dominant fashion. I mean, now, what have we seen so far that the Cardinals have been dominant? I mean, not really very much. I think that there's been a lot of, flashes for the defense, right? We've been harassing the opposing quarterbacks. The offensive side of the ball has not been very, very good, right? Has not been very, very good. So It's going to be one of those situations that we're going to have to keep our close eye on. We're going to get into some defensive rankings here pretty soon. And like I said, there's no excuse for the Cardinals in this game. You got to show that your offense is learning from the first quarter of the season and now going into week 5. There's no excuses. Let me get to these super chats. We got my guys Cigar Brothers here in the chat saying Kyler Murray can't get it done at 5 feet 9 inches. No disrespect. No, I mean, here's the thing, right? And we're going to talk, and this is what I've been talking about, right? There's a divide amongst the fan base, and it all surrounds Kyler, right? We're going to talk about this a little later on. I know there's a lot of Cardinal fans that are already kind of upset, right? You also got to keep in mind this is year 3 of a rebuild that Monty Austinfort put together, right? Monty Austinfort, Jonathan Gannon, Drew Petzing, and the rest of this coaching staff. It's already year 3. So we're expecting results. We're expecting this team to take the next jump. And to be honest with you, within the first quarter, with 2 teams that we should have beat, which it was a lot closer than what it should have been. And then those 2 teams that are fighting for some sort of division win, the Cardinals unfortunately couldn't get it done. Now, we didn't get blown out. I mean, some might have said the Seattle Seahawks game, we probably should have got blown out. And the Cardinals, struck some sort of fire in the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter, but we were dominated. We were dominated in the Seattle game for 4 quarters. We were dominated, or maybe 3 quarters, right? Maybe we were 3 quarters. That Seattle Seahawks game, we were dominated. So I get both sides of the coin. I really do. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be making a crazy drastic move, right? Moving off of Kyler. We're already seeing national media talking about the Arizona Cardinals. It always feels like the Cardinals are in the national media, but for the wrong reasons. Always feels like that. We're not in the national media because we're doing good or we're, sparking, some sort of excitement amongst the NFL world. No, we're always in the media for the wrong reasons. And right now it's the Kyler Murray conversation. I ended up hearing on First Take, which I don't really listen to national media myself, but of course clips come out in your social feed. And then we ended up hearing, I believe was it Ryan Clark? We ended up hearing Ryan Clark come out and saying that, the ceiling for Kyler Murray is probably done with the Arizona Cardinals. Maybe not his ceiling for his career, but for the Cardinals, it definitely feels like it's kind of done. So, like I said, we'll get to that a little later on here. And I apologize about that. That is going to be my flight check-in that I need to go ahead and check into. So I'm going to be checking in here pretty soon because my flight does leave tomorrow morning, which I'm heading off to LA to watch LA versus the 49ers, a part of the NFC West roundtable. We do got another super chat coming our way. We got John. What's up, John? Appreciate the super chat. $5 donation. He says this: we need to be a good team with a winning record. I'm tired of relying on playing against bad teams just to give us false sense of pride. Yeah, right. Just kind of like my guy Kevin Kevin said earlier in the chat, right? That we might beat this team. We might beat this team, and it might give us a little sense of hope. It might give us a little sense of hope that, hey, we might be back. But we can't fall into that trap, ladies and gentlemen. And keep me true. Keep me honest. We know how it is, right? Sometimes on Sundays, we want to get too involved. We want to get too excited because our team is going to go above 500. There's a real chance the Cardinals can be over 500 by the end of week 5. There's a real chance, a strong chance. But we cannot allow ourselves to get sucked back in. The real test is going to be against the Tennessee Titans. The real test is going to be not a Titans. I'm sorry, the Colts. The real test is going to be against the Green Bay Packers, which is going to be the game after the Colts. So it's going to be interesting. It really is. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how the Arizona Cardinals are going to be able to play this team versus the Tennessee Titans. But I agree with you, John. I really do. Kevin said it a little earlier here in the chat that this what it feels like. Is what it feels like that we're going to be winning this game, and there's going to be a sense of excitement against amongst this organization. But don't let it fool you. Perfect. Okay, awesome. I'm checked in. Okay, I am checked in. I no longer need to see that. I apologize. Let's focus here on the stream. We got some more super chats coming our way. We will get to them. I think I see a Tennessee Titans fan in here. What? Volcano in the chat says, I'm a Tennessee Titans fan. We effing suck. I mean, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. And shout out to you for being here in the chat, right, Volcano? Thank you so very much for being here. I can't con- I can't. So how do I explain this? I so badly want to believe that this Cardinals organization is going to come into State Farm Stadium in Week 5 and completely own the Tennessee Titans. I so badly want to feel that way. I really do. It's just there's nothing that Drew Petzing, there's nothing that this offense has proven to me that this isn't going to be a close game. There's nothing that they've proven to me that this is going to be a blowout, right? This feels like a trap game, almost does, right? The Tennessee Titans are 0-4, right? The Cardinals coming here trying to get their get right game. This kind of feels like a little bit of a trap game. This offense is that darn bad, that darn unpredictable, uninspiring. And I don't want to bag on the Cardinals, but like this is the real nature of the truth, or this is the nature of the beast. This organization and this offense has kind of failed this fan base. If I'm going to be real with you, it's failed the fan base. It has. It's failed this fan base because we're in year 3 and we shouldn't look this incompetent. We shouldn't. But here we are. So I appreciate you, Volcano, for being here. But honestly, any given Sunday, that's the way I'm treating this game. You're going to hear me say this is a get right game for the Cardinals because the trajectory says this is a get right game, and it is. It really, really is. So what I want to see is I want to see the Cardinals win in a dominant fashion. There's no other excuses at this very moment. There really isn't. Moru, I got you. I got you, Moru. Thank you so very much for the super chat. Another $10 donation. He went crazy on yesterday's live stream. So appreciate you for obviously tuning in and being here. Appreciate you. He says Cardinals just announced a new training facility. Yes, they did. If you guys do not know, it was put out by Darren Urban first, or at least that's who I ended up seeing first. But yes, we already heard the rumors about the Arizona Cardinals getting a brand new training facility, and it's set to be made in 2028, I believe it's what it was. Originally, it was 2027, but I think it's got pushed back a little bit. But yeah, shout out to Darren Urban. If you are on X and Twitter, or you can just go to ArizonaCardinals.com or AZCardinals.com. There will be an article on there about, the Cardinals announcing an updated plans for their brand new training facility, and it's going to be open here in 2028. So yeah, pretty exciting, right? The Cardinals have been very, very bad when it comes down to report cards. Multiple memes out there about how the training facility looks, right? And then it's not very good. But yeah, for what it's worth, if you want to get a little bit of good news, you are right, Moru. The Cardinals are getting a new training facility that's set to be open here in 2028. So good for them. Good for them. Absolutely. It's gonna be an expensive project, over $100 million that I don't know who's going to spend. I'm not sure if it's Bidwell or the Cardinals organization. I know it's one and the same. I don't know where the money or the funding is coming from. If it's taxes, I don't know. But yes, it's going to be a very, very expensive project. So appreciate you for the reminder, Moru. Thank you so very much. But yeah, let's keep it going. Let's look at this Tennessee Titans team and where they are currently ranked per Fox Sports. And shout out to them for obviously providing this information over to us every single week. This is where the Tennessee Titans are ranked, right? And this is where I'm saying, like, there's no excuses for this Arizona Cardinals offense. They got to go out here and show that they are learning from the first 4 weeks. So in total defense, they are sitting at the 27th spot amongst the NFL. So this is the average of what they're giving up on defense a game. The Cardinals haven't got anywhere, well, I guess maybe once near that, right? And that's a combination between the rushing as well as the passing. So this is where they're ranked right now. They're 27th. Not great, right? So for the passing defense, they are ranked number 22nd. This is what they're averaging and giving up per game right here. 228 yards. So they're sitting at the number 22 spot right now. Let's look at the rushing defense. They are ranked 29th. And this is very unfortunate because the Arizona Cardinals' bread and butter, ladies and gentlemen, their bread and butter was supposed to be their run game, right? Now, this is going to tie into my guy Moru's other super chat that we're going to be talking about here a little later on, because there was some roster moves that we're going to note here in a little bit, and it also ties in with Trey Benson. So I'll keep your super chat here in a little bit, Moru. Thank you so very much for the constant donations. But yeah, this is where the Tennessee Titans are ranked. They're averaging about 145.7 yards a game for the run defense. The Cardinals don't expose this, whether Trey Benson goes or not. I don't know. Then we're going to have to really start evaluating these game plans heading into this game, right? Score and defense, they're number 30th. number 30th. Like, this is not a good like, they got good pieces. I want to be very clear. They got good pieces, but they're not great, right? So the Cardinals need to come in here and absolutely dominate this defense. They need to. Kyler needs to have a get-right game. This offense needs to have a get-right game. Petsy needs to have a get-right game. And I want to be very clear. Let's not get too excited, especially if the Cardinals do win. But the biggest test is going to be more the weeks following after this game. Red zone defense, they're sitting at the 8, so it's not too bad. Third down defense, 37.1%. So this is a team right here that the Cardinals absolutely need to beat. Cam Ward right now, this is his stats. He's 614 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. QBR rating, it's not something that I've ever talked about, and I know it's been made such a big deal, especially when Kyler Murray stands really want to back him. A lot of people like to bring up QBR, with the exception of this year. What are the odds? But QBR for Cameron Ward is 23.4, so not great. Their number one weapon on the offensive side of the ball, if you want to put Cam Ward on there, you can definitely do that. But Tony Pollard has had a pretty solid start to the season. 68 carries, 261 yards, and 1 touchdown, averaging about 3.8 yards a carry. So it almost kind of seems like this team runs through Tony Pollard. If you stop him, the Cardinals might have a real chance of potentially winning this game, right? But also on the other side of the coin, you got to get your offense going. You got to get your offense going. Let's take a look to see what they've done so far this year. They've already played the Rams, which they played them pretty tough, if I can be real with you. They played them pretty darn tough. But they started off the season against the Broncos. I did not think they were going to do as good as they did against the Broncos. Bo Nix looked really bad. And I know because I had him on my fantasy league, and he looked terrible against the Titans. So Broncos win by 8 points. They played the Rams, which they played them really close in the first half. And of course, the second half came around, and the Rams just completely ran away with it. They did not look good against the Colts, 41-20. Look at that. I only hope the Cardinals can put up this amount of points. It's nuts to see that teams are doing that, but here we are. And then the Tennessee Titans lose in an embarrassing fashion to the Texans, which that is their first win of the season, 26-0. So again, the second half got away from the Tennessee Titans. This was a close game in the first half versus the Texans, and this is kind of what we've been dealing with, right? This is a game you need to win. No more excuses. This is a game you need to win, and you need to win in an absolute dominant fashion. This is not a team you should sleep on. No, absolutely not. No team you should sleep. The Cardinals did not prove anything that they should be sleeping on any team. This is a team you need to take 100% serious. You can't remove your foot off the gas pedal if you are up big. You need to dominate. You need to come out and give some sort of life back to this fan base, which, like I said, we're going to be talking about the divide here pretty soon because there's a big conversation and a divide amongst Cardinal fans, and we're going to get to that here pretty soon. So that's what I would love to see for the Cardinals here in Week 5. Now, there was a plethora of different moves being made by the Cardinals. Walter Nolan being the big mystery out there. The Cardinals regime that we have right now, they've been doing this all since they've been here, since year 1, year 2, year 3. So it's not really anything new. It's very unfortunate that we don't have really any updates on Walter Nolan. Is it make or break of the season? No, it's not. But Cardinal fans really want to see the 16th overall pick make a big impact in year 1. And it almost kind of feels like it's following that same trajectory of Darius Robinson, which he got his first sack of the season. Hallelujah. Unfortunately, could not finish the game because he got injured, and he wasn't in practice yesterday because of that injury on Thursday. So there's a lot of people that were not there in practice for multiple different reasons, right? Maybe veteran days off, right? Those type of things. That's real, but we don't know what's happening with Walter Nolan right now. We're as in the dark as any insider that could ask questions to Jonathan Gannon. He's not providing any information out there. Bilal Nichols is the only little bright spot, and I want to mention it's little bright spot that his 21-day window was opened up. So that doesn't mean we're going to see him in Week 5, but his 21-day window is opened up, so he's going to start practicing. He looked pretty good in the small little clips that we ended up seeing. Now, the big news out there, right, is that Michael Carter got elevated to the 53-man roster, and not just that, ladies and gentlemen, Trey Benson. And then, like I said, Moru, I was going to get you. I got you here, right? Another $5 super chat. He says this. Also, any thoughts on Benson not practicing? We made a video about this yesterday. Now, it was a late drop. So I apologize. I think the video ended up coming out here at like 5 p.m. 5:30 p.m. Around there. So appreciate you guys for tuning in and obviously, staying in tune with the content. But this is going to tie into, there is a real concern. There's a real concern here with Benson. There is. I don't know if you guys listen to Arizona sports anymore, but that's my go-to. That's really the only thing that I listen to outside of doing my own thing, my own podcast. And the one host that I really like listening to, I'm going to be really sad when he actually ends up retiring, is John Gambadoro. Now, he ended up coming out yesterday and saying that he texts some people within the Cardinals organization, and the text exchange was obviously surrounding the idea of Trey Benson. How is he? Is he okay? What's happening? And to make it short, all they said and all he was willing to provide was that they said that the injury that he sustained could have been a lot worse than it is. But that doesn't really give me too much excitement going into week 5, because I'm going to be real with you. When you make a move and a player is not there on Monday, when they had Friday, Saturday, Sunday to rest their bodies, and he's not a veteran, right? He's a year 2 running back that's supposed to be taking this next jump for the Arizona Cardinals in that workhorse, because James Conner is now not there anymore, right? He's done for the season. So there is a concern. There absolutely is a concern with Trey Benson potentially missing week 5. Now, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, do we see an appearance of Trey Benson, and will that calm us down? It will, right? It will. But I mean, we're not going to see our first official injury report until I believe Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. And even if he's limited, that's still something where you got to kind of peel your eyes back and say, oh boy, here we go, right? Trey Benson was not healthy all last year. He wasn't. He had flashes of brilliance, but he was hurt and he was put on IR last year as well. Are we going to be starting to talk about a running back that's supposed to take this next jump for the Cardinals and being the next workhorse, but is not able to stay healthy? Are we going to be living in that world? Well, I hope not. I hope not. But there's a real concern about the health of Trey Benson. There really is. There's a big concern right now with the health of Trey Benson. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to be on IR. I'm not going to say he's going to, miss the majority of these games. No, but there's a concern that he might miss week 5. There is. Now, like I said, don't panic. Let's not freak out yet until maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday's injury report and see what happens there. But yeah, any thoughts on Benson's not practicing? Yeah, I'm a little worried. I'm not going to lie to you. Michael Carter getting elevated, which he should have been on this 53 anyways, and he should have been on this 53 last year as well. Cardinals didn't decide to do that, but yeah, I'm worried. I am. Robert on the chat says Benson is fine. I hope so. I hope so, Robert. From your lips to the football god's ears, I hope so. Michael in the chat says D-Rob had a sack last game and several good run stops. Yeah, I mean, he had his first sack last game. I hope that's something where it's going to trend in the right direction to continue his trajectory to get better and better as a defensive lineman. I think a lot of Cardinal fans have been expecting a lot more from him, right? But unfortunately, he did get hurt this last game. He wasn't able to finish, and he wasn't in practice on Monday. So hopefully D-Rob is okay. Claymore in the chat says, hope does not win football games. That's true. That's true. Brandon in the chat says, Monty is slowly going on the crap list. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, Monty Ossenfort has not continued to build off of what we thought we were going to get, if I'm going to be real. And I'm not trying to bag on him, right? It's only year 3 of Monty. But with where we are at right now at this 4-game sample size, I thought we were going to be much higher. I really did offensively. And we're just not getting that, unfortunately. Now, I want to make sure that we show this graphic here, because there's a lot of people, whenever you're talking about people's practice windows end up opening, a lot of people ask, Walter Nolan, what's happening with Walter Nolan? Justin Jones, what's happening with Justin Jones? B.J. Ojolari, what's happening with B.J. Ojolari? Literally, guys, the only practice window we've heard so far is Bilal Nichols. That's it. That's it. Nothing about Walter Nolan. Nothing about Justin Jones. Nothing about B.J. Ojolari. The only one right now that is practicing as of Monday is Bilal Nichols. That's it. That's it. The eligibility window for the people that were on the PUP list, Walter Nolan, BJ Ojolari, we haven't heard very much. We haven't heard very much as of right now. So it's TBD. I want to see Walter Nolan on the field too. I really do. But the only guy right now that we heard of is Bilal. The Cardinals can open up a 20-day window, 21-day window for Walter or BJ Ojolari. They can. They just haven't done it. So they probably don't think they're going to be ready. I don't know. I don't know. I'm speculating. I don't know. What it's telling me right now, as of Monday, they're not healthy enough to practice. That's concerning. That's concerning. If BJ Ojolari doesn't give us anything this year, I'm done with them. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done with BJ Ojolari. If he doesn't give us any sense of something, I'm done with them. Justin Jones, Bilal Nichols, those were our two big-time signings last year and last offseason. They really haven't amounted to very much. I'm excited to see what Bilal Nichols is going to do. Hopefully he can stay healthy, fingers crossed. Both of those guys, including Jonah Williams, was sold to us as Iron Man. Unfortunately, they drank some water here in Arizona, and I guess they couldn't stay healthy. But yeah, this is this is definitely something that's going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting to see how the Cardinals decide to maneuver all these other defensive linemen that's unfortunately weren't able to stay or weren't able to be activated in the start of the season. So roster moves that happen. Cardinals did sign a new running back to their practice squad, Dearness Jones, elevated Michael Carter, and opened up the practice day window, 21-day practice for Bilal Nichols. Now, we're going to get to the divide. I know that's what you guys are all here for. We're going to get to the divide amongst the fan base. And this is where I really need to see everybody here in the chat get involved. I need to see everybody here in the chat get involved because I want to hear every single one of your guys' opinion on this whole situation. Because it's either you're on the Kyler Murray train, and if he leaves the Cardinals, so this is what I've been hearing. The Cardinals shouldn't let Kyler Murray or go to another team, or we shouldn't trade Kyler Murray because he will be so much better on another roster. I mean, there is a fear. That fear is real, right? There's a fear that can be a real situation here. Of course. There's a real fear about that. But also, are you afraid to make a mistake when, let's be real, like it's not like we're seeing the Cardinals borderline playoffs year in and year out. No, we're not. So like, there's a level of fear out there amongst the fan base that if the Cardinals do trade him away, and like I said, the national media is now coming on the train saying the Cardinals should trade away Kyler because the ceiling is met with Kyler. Kyler Murray's career ceiling hasn't been hit, but the ceiling with the Arizona Cardinals offense has been hit. And I believe that was Ryan Clark that ended up saying that on First Take. Yeah, Ryan Clark. Stephen A. Smith ended up coming out and pretty much just saying he doesn't know. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know what's happening. These are topics that I almost promise you, none of these guys watched all 4 of these games for the Cardinals this year. I almost promise you. They didn't watch all 4. They probably watched a primetime game on Thursday. And they probably are giving their own spiel on the Cardinals and what they can do to fix the Cardinals. Let's be real. Got a couple super chats coming in. We got Moru with another one. Yeesh. Good Lord. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so very much. Another $10 donation coming our way. Trey ties into what I said yesterday. Need to go after a vet running back like Kamara or even like Etienne if the Dolphins decide to blow it up after the Tyreek injury. Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Tyreek Hill, that leg injury looked brutal. Oh, man. That injury looked absolutely brutal. Prayers up to Tyreek Hill. I mean, he ended up leaving that field with a smile on his face. I'm actually very surprised. You usually see a lot of players in tears, in pain, just profuse tears, crying in pain. Tyreek Hill was like, yeah, all right, guys, love you, right? with a smile on his face. And that was a brutal leg injury. Brutal. I'm not sure if he was thinking, thank God it's over with the Dolphins. I couldn't endure another game. Who knows, right? I don't know. That's a speculation. That's the rumors out there. But yeah, maybe Etienne might be available. The thing is that he is very young. He's very young. If the Tennessee Titans, well, not I'm sorry, if the Dolphins were smart, they probably would keep Etienne. Now, the Kamara, on the other hand, that could be a real possibility for the Cardinals to potentially go after. Absolutely. Now, have we seen Monty Fort do it? No, we haven't. So that's what kind of worries me as a Cardinal fan, right? This is where I'm like, oh, we are always told we're gonna flip every stone, right? We're gonna leave no stone unturned, this regime says. And we have yet to see a trade that has worked out for the Cardinals. I mean, yeah, I guess we could say Baron Browning was a good trade for us, right? That was good value back. But short after that, like there's been nothing else that Monty Ford has done that has proven that he can make a big move like this. He's very conservative. I love my draft picks. So I'm game if it happens. It's just, I don't know if he's going to. Okay, let's do this. Let me give some love on over to the sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, Sleeper, and then we'll be talking about the divide that we're seeing right now amongst the fan base, all right? And I do got another super chat coming here from Vegan, which we'll get to right now. Let me give some love on over to the sponsors, Sleeper. The NFL season is here, which means you now have a chance to 100 times your cash on daily fantasy football. Pick on stats for stars like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more for up to 100 times payout on Sleeper. Get your picks right, and you can win big. Use promo code AZSF, and you'll get a $100 deposit match on your first initial deposit. Terms and conditions apply. Everything will be in the description below of this video. Make sure you check out Sleeper. There is some restrictions in some specific states, but I use Sleeper myself, and I'm in Arizona with my fantasy league. So make sure you check them out. Proud sponsors of the AZ Sports Fan here throughout the entirety of the 2025 season. Appreciate y'all, and let's continue this conversation, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's move on to what we all want to talk about. The fan base is divided. The fan base is divided, and please, ladies and gentlemen, get involved in the chat. Get involved in the chat. We got over 60 of you guys here in the chat. And here's the thing, right? In the beginning of the season, we probably were averaging about 100, 120 people. I get it. Nobody wants to talk about the Cardinals right now. So appreciate you guys for being here. Everybody who's watching this on the playback, thank you so very much for being here as well. I understand it. This team right now is not worth people's time. They're ready for a blow up. And I get it. I really do. But do me a favor, for the guys that are in here, smack the like button. Let's see if we can hit at least 35, 40 likes on this stream. Appreciate you guys for being here up and foremost. Let's get to my guy Vegan's super chat. Says trade for a right guard, right tackle, and second rounder for Cam. Are you talking about Cam Skadaboo? I don't think the Tennessee Titans. I'm sorry. Wow. I don't think the Giants are going to trade away Skadaboo. I think that they like what they've seen out of him. And here's the thing. For the guys out there that really want a Cam Skadaboo, you're right. I'm wrong. You're right. You foreseen it. Yeah, you're right. The Cardinals probably should have gone Cam Skadaboo. You're right. I mean, there's nothing for me to say that. They probably should have gone Cam Skadaboo. You're right. I'm wrong. Yeah. It's just you were looking at the depth and what the Cardinals were saying and preaching and all the belief they had in the 1-2 punch number one running backs. You're right. They probably should have done that. Especially another year of James Conner. Let's not forget that last year was probably his year of being able to stay healthy. And the years prior, he's not been able to. So the Cardinals should have took a page out of that book and planned for the future. Yeah, that probably was the pick. I apologize. I was wrong. Cam Skadaboo probably was the pick. But for the right guard and the right tackle, I don't think you even need a trade for them. Just get Will Hernandez healthy. You get Will Hernandez healthy, and then you get Kelvin Beachum in the right tackle position. I don't know why the Cardinals aren't doing it. I don't know why the Cardinals aren't making the move. I strongly feel like the Arizona Cardinals don't want to move off of Jonah Williams because they don't want to show how bad of an acquisition that was in free agency. They don't want to move off of him because there was 3 big-time acquisitions. Well, at least the ones that are coming on top of my head last year. Justin Jones, Bilal Nichols, and Jonah Williams. Those are the big-time acquisitions. And none of them have really worked out very great. I feel like because Jonah Williams is one of those 3 guys, they really want to put that circle in that square-shaped box. They're trying so badly to make it work when all they need to do is plug and play Beachum. You plug and play Beachum, he's a lot better of a right tackle for the Cardinals. You get Will Hernandez healthy, he's going to be the right guard for you. So I don't think we need a trade for him. I mean, and I don't think the Giants are going to trade away Scadaboo. I think they got something really special over there in him. So Claymore in the chat says, yeah, Connor's not coming back. I was screaming Cam Scadaboo from the rooftops, bro. Yeah, I mean, well, a lot of people were, right? A lot of people were. And foolishly, I'm going to say, this is one of those things that I will take on the chin. I was wrong. I'll take that on the chin. I probably should have fought for him a lot more. All the videos that we made, all the conversations that we had, they were all steered to, oh, we got James Conner. Oh, we got Trey Benson, right? That's what they was all steered to. I was wrong. James Conner's done for the season, and there's some concern that Benson might not be a go. So, yeah, there's some serious concern. Okay, but let's talk about this. The fan base is divided. As you can tell, we got this picture here of a Cardinals fan with the bag over his head. I'm not saying we're here. But this, where the Cardinals are at right now within this this rebuild, there's not a lot of confidence. Let me ask you guys this. For the 60 people here on the YouTube side, right? 60, it's not a lot of you guys, but it's okay. I appreciate every one of you guys. How many wins right now do you think the Cardinals are going to have in the 2025 season? We got 2 wins right now. We got 13 games left. Do you think the Cardinals are going 15-2? Or how many wins do you think the Cardinals are going to have at the end of the season? Let me know in the chat, and then we will get you guys involved in the conversation. But there's not a lot of hope and optimism. There isn't. The Cardinal fan base is divided, and it all surrounds Kyler. What Kyler's been able to do, and I want to be real, and I've said this multiple times, but I always kind of feel like you have to say it multiple times because people don't get it, right? Is the Cardinals 2-2 because of Kyler Murray? No. He's not the sole reason as to why the Cardinals lost those 2 division games. No, he's not. No, absolutely not. The run game has been very bad. The right-hand side of the offensive line has been horrendous. The play calling in certain aspects of the game when you shouldn't be running a halfback dive or a halfback slam. It's been bad. Like situationally, it's not been a good offensive play calling type of year. It hasn't. All these things are a factor as to why the Cardinals are where they're at. When you look at it, the Cardinals had started off a 2-0 start. Cardinals lost by 1 point by the 49ers, which was a field goal. The Cardinals lost by another field goal, which is a 3-point field goal in the Seahawks game. You can either take this start of the season and look at it in any which direction, right? You can say, well, the Cardinals lost by a very short amount of time, right? Or very close games. You could look at it that way, or you can look at it like I do. The Cardinals offense has not proven that they can win close games in a consistent manner in 2025. Right now, we're at 500, right? All these games were close. Shout out to the defense for the first 2 games. Unfortunately, the last 2 games, the defense couldn't make one last stop, unfortunately. So, with the sample size that we've seen, I ask you guys, what's the level of where do you think the Cardinals are going to finish in terms of the win column at the end of the season? Let's get to Javier in the chat, says 6-7. Steph in the chat says 7. John says at this point 8. 9-10. Okay, there's still a little optimism there. Okay, I see you. Steve in the chat says 7-8. Chase in the chat says 10. Okay. 8, like I said, 7-8. In the beginning of the season, this is what I think we all said to ourselves, that this team could potentially be in the double digits, right? That this team could potentially be a double-digit win team. Now, if this offense cannot get their stuff together, we're going to be living in a real bad question mark type of offseason. We already know that Kyler Murray, and you've probably already heard this multiple times, is Kyler Murray's record against the NFC West. The guys that know you the best, the guys that you see 2 times a year throughout the career of Kyler Murray, including the playoff loss to the Rams in the NFC West, Kyler Murray is 8-23. Kyler Murray's record of being a franchise quarterback, win-loss column, and it's not all on him, right? It's not all on him. I agree. But he's 38, 47, and 1. Not great. Not great. For the people out there that are worried about if the Arizona Cardinals make a trade off of Kyler Murray to, like, let's say for a team like what's their names? The Vikings. Ooh. If Kyler Murray goes to the Vikings with the wide receiving core they got over there and their tight end they got over there, that could be a real, like, we're all going to keep our eyes on the Vikings. Like, let's be real. I don't think J.J. McCarthy, now he got injured. I think they expected a lot more from J.J. McCarthy than what they got. Now, the first game, he did solid. Second game, he didn't look too great. He got hurt. Is Carson Wentz their future? I don't think so. Obviously, right? He's a bridge quarterback. He's a backup quarterback. That's what Carson Wentz is. There's some people out there that are saying if you put Kyler in the Vikings with the team that they made, that can be a very scary team and a playoff contending team. And to be real with you, I don't think they're wrong. I don't think they're wrong. Because guess what? Just like what I've been saying this whole darn time, that the Cardinals need to build and continue to build this offense, the Cardinals didn't do it. They didn't. Monty Ossenfort, for some reason, sat on his hands and said, we're going to be running the same team. We're going to run it back the same way. Do I feel like they put Kyler Murray in a position to succeed? I mean, I think they put Kyler Murray in a position to win games. I wouldn't say to succeed, right? The weapons that we have. I mean, I like Michael Wilson as much as the next guy. But if you gotten a guy like Emeka Ibuka on this team, or like a guy that's going to be able to be the burner, right? Give you a different type of look for a different weapon, wide receiver wise, it would make this offense way better. But like everybody says, we don't value wide receivers. I don't believe that. I don't think it's not that we don't value wide receivers. I just don't think we know how to use them in this offense, or we're just not giving them the opportunity to succeed. So a big question out there is that if the Cardinals do not, like, let's say, for example, they win against the Tennessee Titans, right? The Colts, I don't know if the Cardinals can beat the Colts, guys. I'm going to be real here. In the beginning of the season, hell yeah. I said, hell yeah, the Cardinals are beating the Colts. Let's go, right? But there is a real bad issue right now with the Cardinals offense. A real big issue that they're not able to fix, and I don't get why. After the Tennessee Titans, we got the Colts, we got the Packers, we got the Cowboys probably fighting for their lives, and then you got the Seahawks again. How many wins do you see within those 5 games? How many wins do you see within those 5 games? Let me repeat it again. The Tennessee Titans, the Colts, the Packers, the Cowboys, and the Seahawks again, which make that 8-0. 8 straight. 8 straight the Seahawks have beaten the Cardinals. 8 straight. How many wins do you see here? Realistically. After the Seahawks, you got the 49ers, and then the Jacksonville Jaguars that looks a lot better than I thought they were going to. Then you got the Bucks, then you got the Rams, the Texans, the Falcons, the Bengals, as well as the Rams again. But just talking about those, actually, let's not even go that far. In the next 3 weeks, right? I said 5, so let's stay with 5. In those next 5 games, how many wins do you think we're going to get? Let me get to the super chat here from Moru. Good Lord, Moru. You are funding everything right now. Thank you so very much. Appreciate the contribution. Says this, 10 wins if they get right. But if you trade Kyler, fire Petzing, and whatever quarterback you decide to project on, get an OC that fits the play style he's used to and build the scheme around that. Defense is good. Yeah. This is a real topic to have, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. If this season slips away from us and this offense can't get it together, we're potentially talking in the bye week some real serious conversations. I ended up asking you guys within the next 5 games, the Tennessee Titans, the Colts, the Packers, the Cowboys, and the Seahawks, how many wins do you realistically see there? I'm seeing in the chat 1 or 2. Claymore in the chat says 1 of the next 5. What does that put us at? 3 and 5? Yeah, that ain't gonna cut it. That ain't gonna cut it. There's a big issue with this offense right now. Big issue right now with this offense. Moru saying 10 wins, but they got it if they get it right. I just want to see this team get better. I don't want to blow up this team. I really don't. And what's blow up mean? Blow up means you get rid of Kyler Murray. Like, let's be real. Right? That's what blow up means. You get rid of Kyler Murray. That's what this means. You're right. It is 3-6, not 3-5. It's 3-6. You're right. The next 5 games, you win 1, 3, lose 4. You're right. 3-6. My math wasn't mathing. I don't want this team to blow it up. I really don't. But it's going to be a serious conversation. If the Vikings are within striking distance of them trying to stay within their division, I could see them make a trade for a quarterback. I mean, the only thing I can hope for is that we get a lot of value back. It's the only thing I can really hope for right now. But the Vikings are 2-2, the Bears are 2-2, the Packers are 2-1-1, and then the Lions are 3-1. I'm looking at every other team. I don't know, like on the NFC side. Now, will the Cardinals trade to the NFC side? I mean, I don't know. Right? There's no other team that I can see that is probably a quarterback away. I mean, the Bengals are offensively, at least, not defensively, but offensively. But they're not going to be paying 2 quarterbacks that amount of money. It's like that's not going to happen. The Ravens, same thing with Lamar. He's hurt now. Who knows what happens with him? Yeah. Right now, the Vikings. I look at the Vikings and I say, man, you're a really good team. You are potentially a quarterback away. And they got a rookie quarterback in JJ. So, who knows? Who knows? I want to believe it. I really do. But the narrative out there is that if you trade Kyler, then the Arizona Cardinals are going to go right back into the same vicious cycle that we've seen, right? Remember all those quarterbacks in between? Carson and Warner. It's a lot of quarterbacks. A lot of bad, ugly quarterbacks. But there hasn't been a lot of first-round picks from that. So I would only hope that the Arizona Cardinals, if they went that direction, is they're going to use a first-round pick on a guy they really, really like. That's the only thing I can hope for. Because let's be real. John Skelton, this man wasn't a first-round pick. John Skelton was a 5th-round pick in 2010. John Skelton was a 5th-round pick. Let's see Max Hall. Max Hall was an undrafted free agent. Ryan Lindley was a 6th round. He was a 6th round pick, Ryan Lindley was. Who else? Give me some more. Who else we got? John Skelton, Derek Anderson. Derek Anderson was a 6th round pick. So you also got to keep in mind the people out there that are like, oh, remember all these quarterbacks that were 4 in between. The Cardinals didn't use a 1st round pick on any of these. I'm not going to say bums, but any of these guys. Nobody. Sam Bradford was a veteran that came into the Cardinals. So I'm not even going to use him. Sam Bradford was a 1st round pick, but we all know his history. Now, do I have faith that Monty's going to be able to pick the right guy? Well, that's what we have to do. We have to put our faith in that, right? Josh Rosen. I'm not talking about the quarterbacks after Palmer. I'm talking about the quarterbacks between Warner and Palmer. That's the quarterbacks I'm talking about. But you're right. Josh Rosen wasn't a great pick. Yeah, you're right. You're right there. But look at all the other quarterbacks that are doing well, right? Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud is having a little bit of a regression, but still there's a little bit of hope there, right? Quarterbacks that are being drafted, Jackson Dart had his first game. There's positivity all around with that kid. So I don't like the narrative of, oh man, look at all these guys that we brought in. They weren't good. They weren't good. Kevin Kolb, we traded for Kevin Kolb. What was he? Let me see. He was a second round pick, 36th overall. So he wasn't even a first rounder. We traded for him. Probably shouldn't have done that. But all these guys that were between Warner and Palmer, that's what people are fearing. That we're going to go right back into that level of terribleness type of football. I mean, I got that fear too. I ain't going to lie to you. I got that fear too. But I think Monty Ossenfort and the Cardinals will be able to hopefully draft a guy that they really like. And in 2026 NFL draft, there might be some good quarterbacks. There might be some good quarterbacks. So all we can do right now is see how the rest of this season plays out. Heck, you never know. We can beat the Tennessee Titans. We can beat the Colts. We can beat the Packers. You never know. You never know. Will it happen? Probably not. But you never know. We'll see what happens. We got Mafia with the super chat here. Mafia, what's up, man? $5 donation coming our way. He says this. Hear me out. It won't happen, but trade for Brees Hall and get John Gruden for the OC. He would low-key piss off. There's a lot of coddling within this Arizona Cardinals organization. There's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that. One thing that I've noticed about Jonathan Gannon is that he will point the finger, or he will say something about a position that's not the quarterback. He will talk about the cornerbacks. He'll talk about the defensive line. He'll talk about this. He'll talk about that. Maybe not specific player base, but God forbid he says anything about our quarterback. He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it. And of course, when you hear Drew Petzing talk, it's not very specific either. Everything he does can't be wrong. I don't think that coaching is going to help him out. I really don't. But yeah, he might definitely very well piss him off. Champion the chat, man. We got some mad super chats. Thank you guys so very much for being here, by the way. We got over 70 people. Look at us go. Look at us go. Look at us, 70 people on a Tuesday morning talking Cardinals football. Love to see it. Champion the chat says, not worried at all. Rams and 49ers going to play, so no one has to lose. If we win, we're right back in the thick of things with 12 games left. There you go. That's some positivity. There you go. Well, yeah, let's think of it that way, right? You got the Seahawks, which we didn't talk about all, which I'm surprised with, right? We got the Seahawks going against the Buccaneers, which the Buccaneers just got off a pretty bad loss against the Eagles. So the Buccaneers are going to try to get right. So you got the Bucs versus the Seahawks. You got the Cardinals versus the Tennessee Titans. And then you got the Rams versus the 49ers. Go Rams. Go Rams. Biggest reason why is the 49ers are already 2-0 in the division. You can't let them go 3-0 in the division. You can't. Go Rams. Huh. You're right. There's some positivity there. There's a positivity champion in the chat. Joe in the chat says Sam Levitt. Yeesh. Joe, hear me out. Jordan Tyson, Marvin Harrison Jr. Just hear me out. Jordan Tyson in the first round. Just hear me out. First round pick, Jordan Tyson. Of course, you got to be in the top, right? He's going to go in the top 10, no doubt. Just hear me out. Jordan Tyson in the first round. Second round, Sam Levitt. Ooh. Dang. All right. Well, let's think positive. Let's think positive. We're going to be good. We're going to be good. But man, I ain't going to lie to you. That sounds like Things that dreams are made of. Things that dreams are made of. Moru again. Yeesh. I think we just hit our 10 super chat goal. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so very much, Moru. Another super chat coming our way says Browns could be a great team to send Kyler to. Get a key defensive price or even Jerry Judy from them, or just get picks and get a top end guy in the draft who will. Ooh. It's funny. That this last offseason, do you guys remember that little rumor that was kind of floating around? That little rumor that was floating around about Kyler Murray going to the Browns, and it all kind of came out to be like, oh, it was fake news, right? You want to get a top 10 pick? You give them hope with Kyler? Probably, huh? Probably. They got some really good defensive pieces over there. I ain't gonna lie, though. They got some really good defensive pieces over there on the Browns. They really do. And you get a first round back. Woo-wee, that's a top 10 pick. That's a top 10 pick. Sheesh. Love your mind process. Love the mind process. DDR says Mike Sam is not going to going part the first round. He'll be a top 10. He might be. I know his stock is only going up the more and more they win. I know. I'm just trying here, man. Just let me have this, man. Let me have this. Moro in the chest is hearing me out. Zach Wilson. What the frick? No, man. I'm good without Zach Wilson. You're saying just trade for him, just for kicks, or to secure a top 10 pick? I'm good without Zach Wilson. I mean, he might be a guy that just needs a new spot. I mean, Baker Mayfield's proven it, right? Sam Darnold has proven it. A new place is all they need. I don't know. I'm good without him though, personally. Flacco on the way. No, we're not getting on Flacco, but you can keep Flacco over there. Valley Bros in the chat says, what quarterback could we get better than Kyler? Well, right now there's nobody. Right now, right? Right now, nobody better than Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, like we've mentioned before, is a top 15 quarterback. He's up there, right? Not top 10. He's top 15 quarterback for sure, right? A lot of things need to go right for him to be in top 12, top 11, maybe even a fringe top 10. A lot of things need to go right. And I think that there's some teams that probably value him that way as well. He can be a really good team. So right now, if you're asking the Cardinals aren't going to trade for a quarterback. That ain't going to happen. Like if the Cardinals do somehow do this, which I don't see a world where that happens unless things really hit the fan within these next 5 games. If what we said comes true and the Cardinals do go 3-6, right? If the Cardinals do go 3-6 within the next 5 games, then we're gonna have some serious conversations. But as of right now, I don't think that's their mindset. I think they think that they can win with Kyler. And I hope that he can prove us all wrong. I really do. I don't want to blow it up, but I'm not gonna lie to you. The excitement of 2026 does get me all pumped up if something comes out of it. So, but yeah, right now there's nobody better than Kyler that we can trade for. Nobody. This is the bed that the Cardinals made them for themselves. This is the bed they made for themselves, and they got to lay on it. That's why I keep bringing up why I like the Eagles and their mindset and their philosophy. They ended up going after Jalen Hurts, even when they had Wentz under contract. They don't care. This is what the business is. It's a stickler business. It's an ugly business that sometimes you got to make tough decisions. Shout out to them because they've got nothing but success over there with Jalen Hurts. Got a Super Bowl ring, although the passing game isn't great. They're still winning games. I don't think A.J. Brown's happy. I don't think Devontae Smith is happy, but they're still winning games. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. So, yeah, nobody's better than Kyler that you can trade for right now. And I don't think that's even the mindset to trade for somebody. No. It's for the future if that's what happens. Josiah on the chat says, I've always liked Justin Fields. That's fine. Keep him over there with the Jets. All right, let's read a couple more comments and we'll be closing up shop. Obviously, we're having conversations right there. Oh, Randall in the chat. Stop it. Obviously, we're having this conversation because there's a lot of there's not a lot of hope, right? There's not a lot of hope. There's some hope for some Cardinal fans, and that's fine. Keep the hope alive. We need y'all to keep that hope alive, please. I so badly want to believe that things can change and things can be different. I so badly want to believe it. I really do. It's just right now there hasn't been very much that's proven it. Trade picks for A.J. Brown. He doesn't look happy over there, that's for sure. But like, if the Cardinals are going to go for another wide receiver, I would rather them get another one somewhere in the top 10, top 15. Cheaper, and we can just like you get AJ Brown now. I don't think it really accomplishes very much. Like, and then on top of that, I don't. Well, actually, let me reframe that. Where we think, at least this chat, now everybody's got difference of opinions. People still think we can win 15 games, whatever. That's fine. But I don't think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to move off of them. I really don't. And then on top of that, the Cardinals need to make a move now, which they won't. If they wait to the trade deadline, it might be too late. Hopefully that makes sense. So let me reframe what I've just said back. It's not that I don't believe that he won't work out or help out the Cardinals. It's just that right now they won't make a move like that. They won't. If it come trade deadline, with how we're kind of talking already, it doesn't really seem like the Cardinals are going to be in a good spot. So there's no point in trading for him, if that makes sense. 247 football says your play calling needs to change. Yeah, a lot of things need to change. A lot of things need to change within this offense. A lot needs to change. Let's read 2 more comments and then we'll be closing up shop. Thank you guys for being here. Let's smack the like button, guys. Appreciate you guys for being here. Smack the like button here on your way out. Thank you guys for being here. Dogface in the chat says it's not even play calling. It's this scheme that suck. Yeah, I mean, Cardinals decided to run it back with the same situation, right? They say they evolved, but I don't think they truly did evolve. Keenan Olsen, what's up, Keenan? Saying McDaniel, Canales, Zach Taylor, we needed a new OC. Hey, if Kyler goes, Petzing goes. I don't know what happens with Jonathan Gannon. Maybe he goes too. But I almost promise you, if Kyler goes, it's probably going to be a revamp of a new situation. Now, Monty, on the other hand, I don't think he should be getting off scot-free, though. Like, I'm not going to say fire Monty, but he shouldn't be getting off. He shouldn't be getting 10 years if he's going to continue to be rolling as conservative as he's doing. And I'm going to be real here. I'm not saying fire Monty, but he's going to be somewhere within. We got to keep our eyes on what this man's doing, too. Moru, let's close it up. Here we go. Last super chat of the day. Good Lord, Moru. Thank you so very much. Appreciate it. Says this. Get Kamara if you want to trade someone. Could be Michael Wilson with picks for a top and wide receiver. So let me read this again. Get Kamara, and if you want to trade for someone or trade somewhere, you can trade Michael Wilson. Oh. So package it up. Get Kamara and then get Wilson over here. Wilson over there, Kamara here. With picks for a top, and then we can hopefully get some picks for a top tier wide receiver next year. I like where your mind's going. Wilson being traded is a hot take, but he could have value in another team. I think he's a really good wide receiver. Claymore in the chest says, why not fire Monty? I don't think they're going to do it. That's the problem. GMs don't get fired as fast as coaches do. GMs don't get fired as OC. It just doesn't happen that fast. That's why. I think Monty Austin should be on the hot seat for sure. I think we should definitely keep our eyes on him. It's just, I feel like if it's going to be a new, let's strip this down, I would be shocked if Bidwell made a move like that. I mean, if the season is going to go down the way we're projecting it to go down, I don't think he should have anybody safe. If I'm going to be real. Like, I don't think anybody should be safe. You took 3 years to make this team and this offense looks this bad. I don't think anybody should be safe, but I just don't think realistically Monty will. Because his picks have been solid. They haven't been great, but they've been solid. But, yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's close up shop right here. Another reminder. I will be leaving the state of Arizona because I will be attending Rams versus 49ers this coming Thursday night football. There's going to be a lot of sporadic content. I'm going to try to get content going your guys' way. I think Wednesday we're going to have a preview, all these different things. So we're going to try to rebuild content, but I'm going to be traveling because of Roundtable Sports. Shout out to them. We're going to have our first live event here in LA. Super excited about that. So Make sure you check out the NFC West Roundtable. I know we didn't have a lot of people here today, so I don't expect anybody to be in the NFC West Roundtable tonight. But if you guys can, and you guys, like to kind of chop it up and listen to what's going on in the NFC West, make sure you check it out. We will be live here at 6 p.m. AZ time tonight on the NFC West Roundtable. Hopefully you guys are there. If not, I don't blame you one bit. But we'll be closing up shop right here. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, go Cardinals. Later, guys.